Yeah, well, that is pretty awesome. So when I got sober in Scranton, PA,
Mhm.
and everybody knows it from The Office there, I got sober in Scranton,
I
and
honestly have never watched The
I've
Office.
never I've never watched it
I
either. I
never people
haven't.
alway I
Yeah.
just don't I never I don't have Netflix, so, like, I can't watch it, but, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I do like
I
Breaking Bad, though. Breaking Bad is good, I will give it
Breaking
that.
Bad's very good.
Breaking
Yeah.
Bad is so fucking good, oh my
Yeah.
god.
So I got sober in Scranton, and I was drinking the one day and it landed in rehab the next, and I was in there for 21 days, and then I became homeless. I was in a homeless shelter because I couldn't go back to the house I was living in because it was too crazy there. And I had previously, before I got sober, I was working for a company cleaning,
Mhm.
and somehow, some way, I heard that the company, the owner of the company wanted to talk to me again. And he, I went to visit him, and he said, I want to give your job back. His friend had died from alcoholism.
Oh, wow.
Alcoholism, you can bleed out, like bleeding out of your eyes and ears and all that stuff. And he had
Oh,
found,
that's terrible, that is
yeah,
terrible.
yeah. And he found his friend dead, and he said, I don't want that to happen to you. I know you're a good person. You're a good worker. I was always a good worker. I've always been a good worker. And so he took me under his wing. And that was the first person that gave me hope. I attended a lot of 12-step meetings in the beginning. I had a sponsor, I had a support group. And little by little, I started to recreate myself, and the first thing I had to do was, of course, stay clean and sober. Next thing, get a car, pay off some fines, do whatever, whatever I had to do, get a little apartment for my son and I. My son was living with his friend at the time. And then I started my cleaning business back up, and I met my husband a couple years and down he's in recovery too. He's 25 years sober as well. And then we got married and kind of traveled about, and I was a housewife. I was just, doing my thing and getting involved in community things. And then we landed in Martinsburg, West Virginia in the fall of 2003.
Mhm.
And uh through a series of events, there was no tuxedo stores in Martinsburg, and the guy that helped me, the actual company, the guy that I said took me under his wing, he
Yeah.
owned a tuxedo
Oh,
wholesale
I see, yeah.
business. So I called him up and I'm like, "Hey, Mark, nobody's doing tuxedos down here." And he said, "When do you want to start?" And he was my mentor in the tuxedo business. And then I still was very connected. Everywhere I go, I get connected in the recovery community because I need to be around my people.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
need to be around people who are living clean and sober. I need to be around people who are in the solution. I need to make friends that can relate to me, and what I've been through, so I don't have to kind of pretend to be somebody that I'm not. And then, I had the tuxedo business. I've had that since 2005 or 2008. And then I just started really thinking, what else do I want to do with my life? Like, do I just want to own a tuxedo business, which is great. I mean, I have a great business, and but I always had dreams, and it's really, really hard when you're all drunk and high, you have all kinds of dreams, and
Yeah,
and everything
lot of
sounds
thoughts,
great,
yeah.
and I want to do this, and I want to do that, and everything, and it's really hard to do anything with your ass on a bar stool and your, head in a bottle of whiskey. But now I'm sober, I'm clean, I'm clear-headed, and I have all these dreams and I have all these goals. And one of them was to take a product. I've been extremely creative all my life. Like ever since I was a little girl, my mother tells me stories all the time about creating stuff. And I'm a seamstress by trade, so a natural God-given seamstress. And so I
God-given gift, yeah.
it's a gift, I mean, it is to be a I never was trained in it, but I'm really good
Oh,
at it.
really? Whoa, 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 you never trained in it, you just, like, picked
Mm-mm,
that's
mm-mm.
impressive, wow.
No, my mother's a seamstress, my sister, my grandmother, so it's all,
Oh, okay, so
it's just kind of like somebody that can play music naturally.
yeah,
and
definitely,
and
definitely.
that's kind of how I am with my seamstress work. And so I always wanted to take a product to market. How do you do that? Like, how everything that we buy, every single thing that we look around on our desk, somebody came up with this idea. Every single
Yeah,
thing.
I'm looking right now, and yeah, you're right.
There is not one thing in our lives, tangible at least, that somebody hasn't created. Headphones, microphone, computer, whatever. And I thought, how does that happen? So I started studying everywhere, like grabbing information from everywhere. And I wanted to take a product to market, and hired a lawyer and got ripped off there. Went to New York, that was a bust. Started my own website, my own everything. I want to do it, and so I did that for a long time, from like 1998 or so till,
Jeez. Wow.
till 2017. I found a book called One Simple Idea by Stephen Key. And it was all about licensing your ideas, which is basically, in a nutshell, you come up with the concept, you show it to a company, the company likes it, they invest all their resources, and then when it goes to market, they pay a royalty. That's licensing in a nutshell. So I signed up for their membership. They guide, they have mentors, and they held my hand through the whole thing. And I got my product on the market. The hanging shower caddy's been on the market for about
I'm not
3.5
even joking.
years.
I think